I went to the bull riding championships and this is what I saw. Benjamin Law. Up close, the bulls are massive, majestic beasts. All muscle, fat, and this can't be ignored, humongous genitals. Some of them weigh 1,000 kilograms.
Genitals weighing 1,000 kilos? Benjamin, that's got to be bull. Welcome to Media Watch. I'm Jonathan Holmes. Of course, bull riding isn't an Olympic sport, and for the past 2 weeks it's been Olympics all the way. For all the free-to-air networks except 9, that's posed problems. Their news bulletins can use a few minutes of moving pictures each day. Most other programmes, including Media Watch, can use none at all, which has led to some inventive solutions.
Pearson started off very well. The other competitors are a couple of lanes, we've only got 3 lanes. So that's Dawn Harper to Pearson's left. And Pearson, they jumped the last hurdle together.
That was ABC News Breakfast's answer. This was the august Wall Street Journal's.
Australia's Emily Seebohm and Japan's Aya Terakawa are right there with Missy. She'll need to find something now in this last 50 metres.
But the winner of the Lego Stakes for our money was the awesome stop-frame animation produced by Sarah Larson of the ABC School Kids programme Behind the News. It must have taken hours of work.
It's the most watched sporting event in the world. A chance to see the best athletes performing feats of strength, speed, accuracy and agility right there on your TV screen.
Meanwhile, 9 has been deluged with complaints from hard-to-please viewers about its coverage of the games.
Dear Channel 9, maybe some volleyball, badminton, table tennis, archery, etc. in prime times instead of swimming, repeats of swimming, interviews of swimming, analysis of swimming, previews of swimming.
That post on 9's Facebook page got more than 187,000 likes and 8,000 comments, among them,
I don't understand why you have 2 channels, 9 and 90, but show the same thing on both. Why? You could show swimming and Carl on one of them if you had to, and use the other one for other Olympic sports.
That's been an especially widely voiced question. Critics in the mainstream media have joined in. According to Daniel Hoy in the Melbourne Herald Sun, 9's
failure to negotiate a better deal for its viewers shows just how much they care about what we get to see.
But to be fair to 9, well, someone has to. It negotiated the deal and signed a complex 3-way contract with the IOC and Foxtel way back in 2007, when commercial digital channels and the law that would apply to their content was still shrouded in uncertainty. 9 wasn't going to pay big money for a channel it didn't yet have and might not be allowed to use. Instead, Foxtel paid a mozza for the right to air 8 channels of Olympic events on pay TV. You can be sure the 3-way contract does not allow 9 to broadcast more than 1 event at a time on its free-to-air channels, even though it has 2 more than it used to. The problem for 9 has not been the anti-siphoning laws, as many people think. There are normally exemptions available, but the contract with Foxtel. You'd expect that whoever wins the free-to-air rights to the Rio Olympics will be bidding to use 2 channels at least, and by then a new anti-siphoning law will allow them to use both without the need for an exemption. But this year, 9's Gem has aired only an HD version of its main channel offering, except in New South Wales and Queensland last Friday night, when 9's main channel showed the Rugby League. If instead of the Manly dressing room, viewers wanted to watch the live medal race in the 470 class sailing at Weymouth, they needed to be watching Gem. Until, as the race reached its climax...
That's it tonight from Blue Tongue Stadium. Thank you very much for your company. We now go to the London Olympics.
The problem was that while 9 warned its viewers it was about to swap its main channel back to the Olympics, it didn't warn Gem viewers that they were about to see footy instead of the last minute of the sailing. Unless they swiftly realised they needed to turn to 9, they would have missed the moment when Matthew Belcher and Malcolm Page won gold for Australia. As one furious Gem viewer told Media Watch,
To watch one's nation coming in for a hard-earned gold medal live comes rarely, but to have it deliberately cut off just seconds away is treasonous.
And there were many, many more like him. Not that Nine seems too concerned. The network's Director of Public Relations told Media Watch,
"We are very happy with our mix of coverage. We are also pleased with the ratings, which are right on expectations for both us and our partner Foxtel."
So there. And here's something else to be grateful to Nine for. It and News Limited have teamed up with a private company called One Big Switch to save you money. Maybe. We looked at this remarkable alliance a month ago.
People power.
The Big Switch.
The Big Switch was massively promoted by News Limited tabloids in Sydney, Adelaide and Melbourne, and nationally by Nine's Today programme. The goal to negotiate bulk discounts to counter rising electricity prices.
This morning, you can do something about it. Together with News Limited newspapers and One Big Switch, we are launching the Big Electricity Switch. It's a great initiative and we need your help to fight for cheaper electricity prices.
In one sense at least, it was a hugely successful campaign. More than 200,000 electricity users nationwide signed up with One Big Switch. But ungrateful grouchies that we are, we warned that electricity bills are complex and there might be many traps for the unwary in any offer One Big Switch might make. Just a week later, its spokesman, Christopher Zinn, triumphantly announced on the Today Show that the campaign had produced offers way better than the 12% discount he'd targeted.
It starts off in New South Wales, it will be 16.5%. In Victoria, it'll be 18.5%. In South Australia, 15.5%. And in Queensland, 12%.
In Sydney, the Daily Telegraph was cock-a-hoop.
16.5%. Electricity campaign wins our readers big discounts.
Even the Prime Minister, not News Limited's most fervent admirer, was full of praise for the Big Electricity Switch.
Entrepreneurial spirit, media support and online information have enabled nearly 250,000 Australians to be offered discounts as high as 16.5%.
And the Telly's editor, Paul Whittaker, was quoted in his own paper saying this:
"We're here for readers who are too busy raising families and earning a living to wade through all the fine print looking for the best power deals. We've taken care of that and given readers a simple option to reduce their power costs."
The problem is that simple option could lose you money rather than save it unless you wade through the fine print. We have, and we've come up with some disturbing findings. Of all the News Limited tabloids, the Daily Telegraph has been the most enthusiastic in its promotion of the Big Switch, so we focused on its heartland, Western Sydney. And we started with a simple question: 16.5% off what? The answer, according to Christopher Zinn:
The discount in New South Wales is off True Energy's standard market rates.
Now, electricity tariffs vary from one so-called energy area to another. Most of Western Sydney, including Parramatta, Fairfield, Liverpool, Penrith, Blacktown and Baulkham Hills, falls within the Endeavour energy area. And in that area, the so-called regulated rate is
26.675 cents per kilowatt hour,
including GST. But True Energy's standard rate is
27.94 cents per kilowatt hour.
That's about 4.5% more. Already, that discount is looking a little bit less attractive. To arrive at a true comparison, you have to read more fine print. For example, True Energy's standard supply charge, the daily fee that everyone pays, is a bit cheaper than the regulated rate. But if you're buying off-peak electricity from True Energy to heat your water, it'll cost you more than the regulated tariff. And in addition, off-peak users pay an extra supply charge. The regulated off-peak supply charge is just over 5 cents a day. But in the Endeavour area, True Energy's off-peak supply charge is
22 cents per day.
That's 4 times higher than the regulated rate. Altogether, a Western Sydney household buying 1,500 kilowatt hours a year of off-peak electricity at the regulated rate would pay $159, including GST. At True Energy's standard rate, it would cost $256. That's $97 more per year. That's why it pays to ask,
16.5%? Off what?
We asked the Daily Telegraph what percentage discount they thought their readers would be getting off the regulated rate charged by most of True Energy's competitors. It responded,
According to analysis by One Big Switch, most of the scenarios put forward by MediaWatch result in 14% savings off the regulated tariff.
So, really, that headline should have read not
16.5%,
but
14%.
And we think the discount for most people will be smaller still. For households in Western Sydney who don't use much electricity, who use gas for heating hot water and cooking, for example, the saving on their electricity bill could be that big. But we reckon that a typical household using off-peak electricity to heat water that switches to True Energy's discounted rate will save only around
11%.
Off the standard regulated tariff. If you're interested, we'll be posting our detailed calculations on our website. Yet the Telegraph boasted 2 weeks ago,
The 70,000 New South Wales residents who signed up to the Daily Telegraph's One Big Switch campaign will receive a 16.5% discount off their power bills, a much bigger saving than the 12% we set out to achieve.
well, no, many of them won't. And there's an important condition to the deal, which 7's 6 o'clock news pointed out, though 9 News, same time, same day, did not.
But the catch to the switch is that bills must be paid on time, every time. Otherwise, the discount quickly disappears.
Or, as the telly put it over on page 6,
The full discount applies if households pay bills on time during the fixed 3-year contract. If payment is late, the discount for that bill falls to 3%.
in which case many households, we reckon, would be worse off than if they paid on the regulated tariff. And we've been told by one electricity retailer that about a third of their customers usually don't pay on time. And incidentally, the contract may be fixed, but the costs aren't. True Energy can put its tariff up or its discount down anytime it wants. The Daily Telegraph tells MediaWatch that
The campaign has stimulated competition. Consumers who didn't switch and stayed with their provider got bigger discounts than they would have otherwise got as a result of the campaign.
that may well be true. The big electricity switch has had a lot of us scrutinising our bills and talking to our suppliers, and that's a good thing. As Christopher Zinn himself says,
Look, we say to people, look critically at the offer, see if it's going to work for you, and by all means go to other providers or your existing provider and ask them to match it or do something that's going to be attractive for you.
and while you're looking at the fine print, which you really do need to do wherever you live, bear in mind that for every customer who takes up their offer, One Big Switch will earn a hefty commission.
One Big Switch will be paid between $60 and $135 per account.
That could well amount to millions of dollars for the owners of One Big Switch. And if you're a signed-up member, they'll be in touch soon about other stuff. For example,
Banking, insurance, telecommunications, all sorts of things. So I say watch this space.
oh, we will, Christopher. We will. Lots more detail on our website. Until next week, good night.